Email. I mean, I got your text.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. Hi. Welcome to KRE8ivU Multimedia
Fine, how are
Academy.
you? Email. I mean, I got your text.
Oh, that's on.
Oh, okay.
I got this. I thought that was on mute. Okay, that's funny. Okay. Yeah. So welcome to uh, music production class for KRE8ivU. I was just going through like just this is just for notes for you guys to do notes, the processing, and I always like to talk about the history of things because most of the stuff that we see and do now is based on what the real life thing was, how it used to work. So very quickly, you made a recording like what we're doing now was tracks, right? It would maybe be on magnetic tape, and then we would go to a studio with that big thick magnetic tape which has 16 or 24 tracks on it, that's all, and we would mix it down to 2 tracks, meaning stereo, right and left. So we mix it down onto another machine that's a stereo track. Now remember, in those days when you lose when you do a mix and then you record it again, you're losing some of the definition, you're losing a little bit of this, because if you remember, if anybody knows about magnetic tape, every time you record a chord over and over again, you lose, it gets more and more uh, uh, um, the actual final project becomes worse and worse. It gets degraded along the way because it's magnetic, so it loses, the tape loses some of that magnetic whatever. Okay, the point is it goes from a 2 track reel to reel, and it goes. They put it on a machine, and another machine records it with a lathe. A lathe is something that cuts into something, and they put a piece of acetate on that lathe, and then they play. Well, I'm sorry, I skipped one. So it goes with the 2 track to a mastering facility. The mastering facility actually does the final EQing and final process for that song. And what they do is they make it so that it can be able to play on radio, TV, whatever it has to be able to play on. They make sure that it's not too loud, not too soft. They make sure that it's not too much bass. It's not too, they put it in line so that everything sounds professional, what we're used to hearing on TV, on radio, on stuff. So once they have that mastered onto another tape, now it lost them, remember, now they take it to a place where they start making the records, right? So they make what's called, they go and it goes onto a lathe where they actually cut the music into a piece of acetate, right? So it's a needle that's actually scraping the acetate, that's putting the sound by jittering, that needle moving is putting the sound into that piece of acetate. That piece of acetate goes into another machine, and they press it. They press top and the bottom, and they inject, I forget what kind of metal, but they inject metal in, and that metal picks up the grooves that's in that acetate. And from that, they stamp what they call, that becomes either the mother or the father. I think it's the mother, and then they create a father from that. The father, the father is another piece, which is the first record that they actually produce, but they don't use that one. The father, no, they create a father, then the mother, and then the mother creates all the other presses. Okay, so from every mother, you can get, let's say, 10 father, 10 presses from it. So from every press, you can get like 100 or 200 vinyls out of it. So it's like negative positive till they get the one that actually stamps and makes the vinyl that we bought. So that's the process that they go through. They still use vinyl now. So they still go through that vinyl a little bit. You guys that are DJs know that the vinyl is trying to come back. People tell you and stuff like that. So that's the process it goes through, and that's why it's more expensive. So the process has changed a little when they started making CDs and stuff like that, but it's still kind of like a mother, father, and they cut it, they press it into the plastic. So those processes are still there. Mastering houses are still there. They haven't lost their gusto. However, people more and more, because they're using this software and they're using all these proper plugins, they're learning how to master their own music. So I did a song, I'll probably play it one day, called I Love You, Lord. And that was mastered by me because I didn't have the funding to go and send it out to be mastered. So I mastered it myself. And it does a pretty good job. I did a pretty good job because it really worked. Okay. But you can really boggle up the job in mastering too. So it was luck because I didn't know what I was doing. I kind of can do it now because I know what I'm doing. But back then I didn't know what I do. I accidentally got it right. But I just wanted you to know that that's the process of actual recording and how it comes into the what we hear, like these, so by going to a thumb drive now, now I can literally press drum drive. I can go to any of the places that make records, and I can actually tell them I want our whole album on thumb drives. Give me 1,000 thumb drives. So obviously it's cleaner than actually pressing because it's going digital all the way. Digital never loses any. As long as it didn't lose any data on the way, it's the same as from that first mix down or from what you had on your project. You see, so by staying in digital realm, it stays cleaner all the way to the mastering house. And even if they're pressing it, it goes from the mastering house and they make that lathe. That's actually going from digital. So it's actually a cleaner record now than it used to be. If you get vinyl, anything like that. But if you get thumb drives, it's like the original. So that's what's going on. Digital is digital. Downloads. Everybody thinks downloads are the same as listening to it from a full uncompressed wave. Wave is the file, but MP3s, Google, YouTube, um, um, Amazon, um, iTunes, and all that stuff. They have protocols by which they cut down the bandwidth on the songs. So they still have less bandwidth a lot of times than if you're listening to an actual CD. You might hear more definition on a CD than you will hear in a download, like on Spotify or something like that, because they actually compress the sound because they have a lot of digital information and they're trying to make as less stress on systems and make it be able to be downloaded on your phone, which doesn't have a lot of memory, doesn't have a lot of processing power. So what they do is they actually cut down the amount of data by what's called compression. And so we have you'll hear the terminology of lossless. Lossless, you might hear it in video and you'll hear it in audio where they say lossless. That means that it's the same, it didn't lose anything. So it's exactly what the name means. So a WAV file, if you notice, if you download from BandLab, it downloads a WAV file, which means it's lossless. That means it's exactly what that 2-track or whatever that's going to sound like. Whatever it sound like in BandLab, it's going to sound like in everything else because it's a WAV file uncompressed. However, the download from the download of the mix from Soundtrap is an MP3 file. MP3 is not lossless. MP3 actually compresses the file. So it throws away some of the audio that it thinks you don't hear. So like the real highs and the real basses, the real low bass that our ears just generally don't detect, it takes those out. Okay, so it's compression. And then what happens is it compresses the files, and anything that plays MP3 is supposed to open that compression back up in real time. So you supposedly hearing it at its best quality. However, it'll still never be as good as a WAV file. Because even the frequencies that you don't hear, you feel emotionally. So what do I mean? If you listen to an orchestra, if you're listening to orchestra music, that's going to be a wide range, piccolos and strings way up high, and bass, upright basses, and trombones way down low. I said that because he's a trombone player. Trombones and tubas and stuff like that, real low. You'll hear a difference you'll hear a difference with something like that when it's an MP3 file or a WAV file, because it's asking for the full range. It's asking for the full range. So like when you go to see an orchestra for real, there's no compression. You see what I mean? So all the overtones you're hearing, you're feeling everything, how it fills up the hall, how it fills up everything. And so even though you don't hear it, you feel it. And some people do hear it, but you feel it, and it's still an impression, and it's an emotional thing. And so we try to keep things as uncompressed as possible, you know, when we do it. So that's my lesson on that today. Okay. So you can take over, Jordan, about the band lab and stuff. Did I give you the about the what everybody was doing the project?
Well, we went over the project Wednesday. Was anybody able to complete a song or anything in band lab?
I attempted. I
Oh, okay.
struggled.
Aw.
Yesterday, last night, I started. First, I had a hard time logging on. And so I tried to log on just regular without going to class.
No, I didn't want you to go to class. All adults, I wanted to go through just the regular, just log on.
Oh, because it had two. It had students. I mean, it had children, kids, and it had adults. So I opened it through the adult one.
Yeah, the adult one is just wide open. It's it's not education.
Okay. Well, in any event, I tried to log in and it wouldn't accept it. Then I had to change my password. And even after changing my password, I guess I tried it too many times. It locked me out. And it said that you are registered through a classroom. Get authorization from the classroom to get back on. So that was last night this morning at 1 o'clock.
Oh.
And so what happened was I ended up doing something. I got on, but whatever happened, it was a glitch. So after I did everything, it wouldn't allow me to save. So I tried to go into that special thing, and I went into help. It showed me how to save each track as a wave or something else.
Mm-hmm.
And so the other one was steps. So I said, okay, I'll save it as a wave each track. So I tried to save them. And then I opened a new project and tried to put the wave files back in there.
Okay.
I was on the right track, but it was getting late and I was like, forget this. So I got off and I took pictures of it from my phone of what the tracks were and the names of the tracks so that I could, do it again today. So I ended up having to, because then I was able to get on the regular way. And I did something. I muddled through and accomplished something.
And Deborah wasn't here, so you didn't.
Only Raymond.
Yeah.
Anthony, I'm sure he didn't do anything. Did you do something?
I looked at it. I'm like, ooh.
Yeah. I know you didn't get scared when you looked at it, right? It really works the same once you get in it. It really works the same as
more options. The music's better.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Oh wow.
The loops are way better. More options. It's nice.
So have you found anything off gate that's worked easier for you already in BandLab?
The volume. And I guess even adding the track. to the thing because I always had a problem adding the tracks on what is it?
Soundtrack.
Soundtrack. I don't know. I don't know if I was dragging it, but it wasn't, maybe I was dragging it too far or something. But I just double clicked this. So
Boom.
yeah, it was easier, a lot more to choose from, because which was a good thing, but then it was like, okay, what do I use? Close to the tempo, and I think I started putting too much on there. I was like, this is kind of sounding a lot, Vicky.
I'll tell you, truly speaking, sometimes having all these options are not necessarily a benefit, because it makes it harder for me to write, because I wind up auditioning so many sounds. It becomes an auditioning session. Says, oh, let me try this, let me try that, let me try this, let me try that, because you have so many things at your fingertips. What I've learned is, if I'm really going to try to write a song or something like that, what I try to do is just have something in mind already, an idea in mind, like a drum beat. What am I looking for? What kind of genre? And I'll stick with that genre, and that cuts down a whole lot. And are you going to start off with, I try to plan in my head. I think for this emotion that I want to hear a keyboard part. I don't want drums first. I want to hear a keyboard part. Oh, I want to hear a bass line. That's going to give me so I'm going to look for a bass line that gives me the groove I'm looking for. And then you build off of that, that may help a little bit more because, just because you have so many options. And then, when you get into the full DAWs, like what I use normally, you have so many different effects that you can literally say, now you got your sound and you say, but I want to tweak it. Now you go into effects, into your effects, and you go down a rabbit hole. That could be like 2-3 hours later, you just found the effect that you were looking for, so to create the sound that you're trying to create. So it can go into, back in the days, we just played the part, you recorded it, and it was a wrap.
You heard me? I was adding so much I ran out of tracks.
No, you didn't. Really?
It said you cannot add any more. I don't know what else.
How many tracks was it? What was the top number of 16? Tracks? 16. That's all.
You go over 16 tracks. They expanded it.
You wouldn't allow me. So that was a good thing.
Vicky, it's okay.
It's a lot of copying though. That's all.
Well, I had that project. I think, what did it have? 12 tracks or something like that. 12 or 13 tracks in it. So I didn't reach the 16. I'm going to try. I'll add some more tracks to that just to see how far I can go, just to play around with it. But the crazy thing is, the coolest thing about this software is I didn't know. Again, I'm still discovering. Over the weekend, I found, since last class, I found that you can download the actual full software. It was called Sonar. Remember I was telling you it came from a company called Cakewalk Sonar? Well, they didn't kill the program. They offer the full Sonar DAW as a download. So you can download all of those sounds and tracks into that full DAW and use it, but it's only for Windows. Cakewalk was only a Windows company. I think that's probably why they couldn't hold on either. Because it was only Windows, and most people are doing in this business are going on Mac. So that kind of made them obsolete. So, but the software is still available, and it's been updated and all that kind of stuff. And then they have what they call BandLab Assistant, which so the song I did, for instance, in BandLab online, I had to pull out I had a MacBook. I have a Windows computer back there. I downloaded it, and then the assistant, I said, take my song and download it to the SOX, what do they call it? Anyway, BandLab what did I call it? Anyway, this to the software that's on my computer. When I downloaded it, it opened up all the tracks just like it was online. Boom. And now you have unlimited tracks. Now you have unlimited tracks. You have all of that stuff, unlimited amount of time, and it's a full DAW with more effects and more stuff like that. But like I said, it only works on Windows. I mean, on Windows machines. So and it's free. So you can't beat it if you have a Windows machine. Literally, it's a free DAW. It's actually better than for Windows. It actually is better than what's that other DAW I have? There's another DAW, huh?
Fruity Loops?
No, Reaper. I was thinking of
right.
Reaper. Yep, it's actually better than Reaper in a way. But anyway, back to you, Jordan.
Yeah, no, we were doing good. I was trying to definitely get the most out of Vicky on what her experiences were with the band lab. What was there anything in there that you particularly had a hard time doing that you remember we did in class, or like?
I know there was a point when one thing, every time you open a new one, it starts off with a drum machine.
Mm-hmm.
And one was a little different than the other, A and B.
Mm-hmm.
That's every time, right? You open up a new project, it starts with a drum machine.
When I've opened new projects, it hasn't started with a drum machine.
Really? Every time I opened one, it had the drum machine on it.
So you hit create.
Mm-hmm. And the first track would be a drum machine. A and
Oh, that's because you clicked on it.
I did.
Oh yeah.
When I did create.
Let me show you. Hold on. I'm gonna share my screen real quick. Where am I at? Number 3. Okay. So y'all can see that?
Mm-hmm.
So you start off on this screen, which is the feed. It says feed up here. And it has, all the paraphernalia. This is my song over here. These are uploads that I had done. These are different people that are live right now. They're doing live shows. I don't get it, but I haven't checked it out that much. You can follow people and so on. And here's the app. Here's the downloads for the app for Android or Apple iOS. When you'll see your song in your kind of like in your feed here. So when you go to the top and you hit create, you get this. Mm-hmm. So now you can choose to have a drum machine. If you click on this, you can choose to start off with a microphone. You can choose to start off if you have a guitar bass. I don't think either one of you have a guitar bass that you're going to plug in. And you can do this for instruments. This is when you want to use my keyboard. So let's forget about all of these right now. We want to go to browse loops, which is on the bottom right here on the right side. And when we click browse loops, it doesn't open up with anything.
So I wouldn't go to browser. I think I would just click on the outside of that. Maybe that's why it just popped up.
Let me see.
Did I?
Nope.
I don't know. Maybe I did. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm mindful. I was like, oh, okay. I mean, it was fine. I used it.
Well, also, if you click here, you can upload. That's what you were talking about, MIDI files.
Okay.
And you can add a track. I don't know what I think it's doing right now, but we can add a track. I closed the loop thing, so I'm waiting for that to go across.
Yeah, I couldn't close mine to have a regular screen like that.
You just click off the loops down here. It's down here. Notes, loops, collaborations.
Okay, so if I double click on it, it'll remove everything.
Yeah, if you click on it one time, it's just one click. It turns on and off. You click on and off. If you double click, it's gonna do like that.
Oh, okay.
It's just one click.
Okay. I fought with that the whole time up there. Okay.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, all these are one click. All these are one click things. You know.
Okay.
Yeah. So and I did that just so you know. How do I know? Because I double clicked. And I was like, on my other computer is slower, and I didn't see the 2 clicks. I didn't see what it was doing, so it just stayed on. It's like, why did I go off? You know. And then you have up here your loops, all your loops, and then you can divide them up by genre, or you can divide them up by instruments or both by choosing those. And then you have your loop packs. Okay. And risers and stuff like that, cute stuff. But anyway, and I've noticed that they put on some new sounds since we started. Yeah.
I was gonna say it seems like they do like a regular update because it's been like almost every day that I've gone on BandLab. There's at least 1 or 2 new ones that I knew weren't there yesterday.
Yeah, exactly. So they are always uploading new sounds, which
That's
is
pretty awesome, actually.
yeah, that's phenomenal.
Yeah.
You know, so there's new packs coming on all the time. That's when I read about it and so forth, and that's really cool with them.
I mean, yeah, because this is phenomenal. This is free because
Yeah.
I mean, I paid for Logic Pro. Like I went and bought the whole. That's what I use to produce a lot of my music in. And Logic Pro goes for like $200-$300 right now. Pro Tools, which is what most professional studios work, they actually do a subscription where you just pay monthly in order for you to have it on your computer, and it just updates automatically. You can't outright buy Pro Tools. So
Anymore.
that right, yeah. So that all of this in one space that is completely free I mean, like something like this is normally worth at least $150 alone, and you would buy it one time and would not be regularly updated like this. So
Right.
Better download it before it costs us, right?
Yeah, I'm always very careful with these free models, and that's the reason why I didn't start off with it. I looked at it last year and I was like, I don't know, I don't really trust free. Especially if you're doing a business, you know what I mean?
Yes.
It's nice, to do free, but now if I'm going to base a business on it and I get all my students using it and everybody's using it, and all of a sudden they say, "Hi, it's $100 per student now. Thank you." I got 100 students on it. That's a problem, So I get concerned with these, with these. But then what happens is, if you really search out, you'll find out they sell equipment. They sell. If you go to the stuff that they actually sell, they sell interfaces for you to plug your guitar and your bass guitar into, or for you to plug a regular mic into, so that you can plug it into your computer or plug it into your iPad or phone. So they're making a little bit of money evidently that way, which is cool. So I needed to see some kind of money model where they're monetizing something, because ultimately I don't see any advertising. There's no advertising. So how are they monetizing it? I got nothing. So I get concerned about free, because everything ain't free. So I believe that they're gonna add in some, once they get enough people on, they're gonna add something. It's gonna be an upgrade for something, but hopefully they keep all that we have free for free. And because they actually do like I said, you can get your song mastered for free. I mean, they're using AI, but it's free. And I just did it. I don't know what the difference is, but if y'all want to hear,
yeah.
I just had it mastered with their master. And where is it at? Here we go. Can y'all see that?
Nah.
Of course not. Now you can see it. Here we go.
Yeah, now we can see it.
Yeah, so this is the one I mastered. I have 2 of them on here, but this is the one I mastered. First thing I did was look at the waveform. Did it change the waveform at all? and I see just a little difference in here from here. So it did do something. I don't know what it did. So let's listen. Now I'm going to play this one that's not mastered. Let me see if there's any difference. I hear in the mastered version, you probably wouldn't hear it on your headphones. You got to have headphones to hear it. The mastered version has a little more definition. That's what I'm hearing. It's more definition in the sound. I can hear the parts cleaner and like they're separated, and I'm a little more immersed in the stereo. That's what I'm hearing. So it did do something, a little something. That, I mean, the mix wasn't bad from the beginning, so so you know, can't mess with perfection. No, but anyway, you know, it does sound a little different. If you listen to it later on the YouTube, you'll probably hear the difference because the YouTube, even though it's compressed, at least it's in stereo, so you might hear it on YouTube with headphones. But I was anxious to hear that. So once again, to create have you, Deborah, did you try to get on yet, or?
I went in and registered and looked at some of that, but haven't worked with it.
Okay, so when you create, I just want to do this because you weren't on before. When you create, oh, you're not seeing me. Hold on. Let me share again. And I'm sharing the wrong screen. I'm sharing the screen you guys are on. Here we go. There we go. Okay. So let's say you're on this page, it's called the feed, and you do it right here. You got Explore at the top. Explore is a whole bunch of other people that use this software, and you know, like I gave a warning last class, just be careful. Be aware that some of this stuff is definitely adult in nature.
Right.
Because people are saying all kind of stuff. You'll find some good stuff and some kind of raggedy stuff. But then you have your library, right? And that has your songs in it, your projects.
Okay.
You have collaborations. You'll find them all in here. Okay. I'm going to go back to the feed because this is your feed. So it's kind of like a Facebook feed where you have, again, your songs on your projects are on the side. You know, all the things you want to go to are on the left side, and your feed is your music. And if you notice, some people have, well, it's marking that I played the song again. So it was on 4, but I think I played it 2 times since then. So a couple times. So now it's on 7. But there are some other people that actually commented that had nothing to do with our class, Game Beat, and it's Rob Chadwell or Cadwell. So it's like a Facebook thing for music. Do it that way. Now I can either open this song back up and see the actual mix, or I can go to the top right here where it says create and create a new mix, create a new song. I'm sorry. And here's where we were before, where I can choose what I want to do first. I choose, if I click out here, it's just going to take me to an empty project. Okay. But I could have chose for it to open up the loops right away. So here, if I want to if I want to upload a file, all I do is click in this box anywhere,
Mhm.
and it's going to open up my file manager, and I can pick whatever file I want to upload. Okay, and you can cancel that. And over here on the bottom is your loops. Well, before we go to loops, I'm not going to go through the whole thing because I did this on the video, but I
Right.
want to tell you, if you click on help, you'll find your
Mhm.
shortcuts
Right.
that,
Okay.
that help you get through. You'll find a tutorial, show tutorial. So it'll keep on showing you the different things in the different places to go to in the you know how you can get around. It shows you all the different things, trackhead and all that. Then you have a help bot, which is shows up down here, and you can literally search for what you want.
Okay.
Okay, so you're not without help, and that's all from the help menu.
Mhm.
Um, you over in here, you can change your grid, turn it on or off, or change the size of your grid to 1 bar, a half bar, quarter notes, eighth notes, 16th, 32nd notes.
All righty.
Again, in this, you can open up your loops over here. There's another way to get to your loops. Collaborators, everything you see over here is over here too.
All
And you
right.
can change your theme if you want a classic theme, if you want a light theme, cookie. I don't know what cookie is. Looks the same. And you have dark. I choose dark because it's easier on my eyes because I'm always working late at night.
Mhm.
So white seems to burn out my eyeballs. Um, and that was under view, okay? And then you have your edit, which is your cycle and slice at playhead. So you're used to slicing. You know about that from soundtrack.
Mhm. Mhm.
And here's file is basically download the tracks or download the mix. So you can download tracks on this, the separate tracks, or you can download the mix. And you would download the separate tracks if you're going to use it in a different DAW.
Okay.
So here we have the packs, and the packs are a ton of great stuff. I mean, and if you want to get kind of an idea of what the packs are, you you can click on the playhead. Man, I like that. I'm gonna do
I
something.
do too.
Yeah,
What was,
right.
what was that?
Experiment.
Experimental tape music. Okay,
Mhm.
cool. New Orleans. Yeah, bounce trap, um, turbo trap, Afro, turbo trap, neo soul.
Yes, sir. I like new stuff.
Yep, and rave and they got everything. Ambient, experimental. Thought you would like that for the
Yeah. Perfect.
and ambient down tempo. So they have ambient down tempo.
They do have some nice.
Yeah, experimental pop. Oops. Well, anyway, since I went there, if you click on any of these,
Mm-hmm.
uh, let's go to the tape music. If you click anywhere in here, what it's going to do is open up all of the
Okay.
loops that go along with that genre,
Wow.
right? Some of them have more loops than others. This one seems to have a ton of loops. My goodness,
It sure does.
I'm still scrolling.
There's a big category there. Big
Yeah,
variety.
exactly. So so when you click on it, you can audition. That's a reverse beat. So if you like any of them, So if you like any of them, you just double click on it, or you can drag it out, you can drag it to wherever you want it, or you can double click it and it'll go right to where the playhead is. So now it's in the project. And then we can go, let's say I wanted to do, what was that, ambient?
Mm-hmm.
What is the ambient? Ambient atmosphere. Let's do that. Ambient seaside. Birds.
I needed that for the spa stuff. That's got a lot more options here.
Yep. I know this is crazy, but anyway.
Those together.
See, so yeah, so you know, then you get a bass line from somewhere else, and where should I get a bass line from? Somebody.
The Latin. Oh, sorry.
Latin?
Yeah, I thought I had my thing muted.
Well, we weren't supposed to hear that.
I started talking and I thought I had it muted.
I like this Latin pop bass line. So I put that on here, and then stretch this out. And stretch this guy out. And stretch this guy out. So we start out with the cool, right? So what I'm showing you is you can mix different genres together to get what you want. If you don't want to go through the genres, then what you can do right here is click on, just reset this, click on all loops. Now, whoops, sorry. This is all the loops in the pack, everything. That's all the genres all together. So you can actually search up here and say drums. And now I have all the drums out of everything. So, so if I wanted this, I know it doesn't even go with it, but what the heck? Let's bring that in even after that. All right. Oops. Hold on, let me change this grid. Remember I was telling y'all about changing the grid to the bar? Because then it'll lock in on the bar and I know that I'm on time. Let me see if I can loop more than one at a time. No, it won't let me loop more than one at a time. Let me close that for a minute. So I'm just doing this for effect, just so you guys can see how you can mix things together to make your song. And that's what makes the uniqueness of everything. See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm doing a build up, right? So I guess we do a snare drum next.
Mm-hmm.
You know, let's bring these out anyway for now. You know, you can actually go here and I can command, copy, then paste. or I believe I should be able to do all these. Command, copy, and paste. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, but I, they're out of order, but I can do that.
mhm.
And just do,
Question,
yes, ma'am.
can you change the tempo between tracks? For instance, like if I have a beat, I don't know, say like 80 on one track, say drums, but you want to do double time, can you change like that one
Yeah,
separate
yeah,
track?
yes, you can. So like say here, this is a wave file, and that's a bass. You see right here, it says playback rate.
Mm-hmm.
I believe we can actually, and I haven't tried this. Let me mute it. Oh, let me solo it. I'm sorry. Let me solo it, and let's loop it. So it keeps on going back and forth. Come on. Okay. So I went too far out with the loop. Right to there. So this is it's playing at 1.26. So I guess to double time it, it was at 126, right? So
Mhm.
that would be two. Got to do some math.
252.
252.
I knew that.
And it's only affecting the little track that you have solo, right? All your changes are just affecting just that track, that beat.
Yes.
Yep.
252.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's not letting me get to 252.
Mm-hmm.
Down.
Let me go back to where it was. Hold on one second. I'm gonna see if we can do. You think we can squash?
Like time stretch.
Yeah.
Try it. I
So,
know you trying to with the option key.
no, I was trying. Nah, it ain't doing it. It's not doing it. Okay, let me go delete that. And that's interesting. No, I'm not getting it where you can do it.
Okay.
Yeah. Because it does have reverse, so we can reverse a track, but I'll still experiment with that even after the class. That would be interesting to do that. I mean, I have other software that can do that.
Was it just a matter of just finding another loop that has that tempo? No.
Yeah.
It might do it for you.
What do you mean?
It might just adjust it so that whatever you start with, it will.
Audio stretch.
Ah.
Aha. Aha. Hold on, let me see. We're not out of it yet. More. Let me go to more. It does do audio stretch.
Mm-hmm.
So speed and pitch. So what was the number? I needed to 2.52.
52.
Yep, 152.
Mhm.
Yep.
It let me highlight it, but it wouldn't let me. It's doing in increments of 5. Okay. Revert changes. Okay, well, wait a minute. Hold it. I'm stubborn. So hold on one second. More. Here's 10% increments. We want it double time. That's kind of cool. Yes, 1.26. So in other words, it already did it to get into this project. You get what I'm saying? That's why it's at 1.26, because it was the original I didn't look at it, but the original sound was at a different tempo. It might have been at 100, or it might have been slower than this. It might have been like 80 or something like that. So it sped it up to be in here. So I think that's why we're getting so that's why it's off. You know, that's why it's 126 and not like you know, like it should be one. Like if it was already a loop, watch loops. I don't remember which one this is, but see how it says 110 over here? Okay. So if I bring this Afro beat in, right, and our piece is at 120. So we're at 120, and this is a 120 loop. So when you see this, we should see it. See, it's at 1-on-1, 1 times. You get what I'm saying? So if we wanted to speed this up, we basically just go up to 2. But since we were already, so now it's doing it like twice as fast. So now it's at I don't hear it. It's because I have. So we sped it up. You see? So for this, we have to be conscious of the sound that we're putting in and what our beats per minute is of the song as it is. If you want to do any time stretching later on, you know? So if you want to do time stretching and you're at 120, then you need to make sure that you pick something at 120 or some derivative of 120, like 60, or, you know, and then you'll be able to be right on with double timing it. Other than that, you won't be able to double time it. Okay?
Yep.
Actually, I like that beat. Listen. I didn't turn it back. I didn't put it back. Oops. Too bad they don't let you type it in.
That's always helpful when it does.
Yeah. So. Yeah, so you can build up on something like that. Nice, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't like that. I like Latin stuff. If
Me
you haven't
too.
noticed,
Mhm.
I like Afro beats, Latin beats. It's because I'm just, I've written so much R&B stuff. I get like tired of it. So if I'm going to try something new, it's usually like Latin or African beat kind of thing. I noticed that there was a difference in the loop when I had that loop like that. So I'm just going to stretch it out. Oops, I didn't want that there, did I? Yeah, that's what I wanted. Yep. So everybody's understanding how to create.
Yes.
Everybody's getting it. So is there any questions? I'm sorry, I've been asking.
I mean, kudos to Vicky and Deborah, but the questions they've been asking thus far, y'all been asking great questions. Yeah. Yeah, and definitely kudos to you for when things aren't working. Like that's about 90% of what we do. I'm pretty sure Douglas can attest that a lot of times it is like trial and error. A lot of trial and error. You'll do something, 100 times and it doesn't work out the first few times, but then it's like that next try, all of a sudden everything fell in place. And honestly, that's probably the addiction and why we do what we do. Like that moment when it's like everything finally came together and all of that frustration was worth it. It was like, yes, like
Yeah, that's true. It's true. It's the satisfaction of the completion. Like, yeah, it's going to, or at least going in the direction that you had, that you had thought about.
Yeah.
So like we were talking about earlier, if you have that direction that you're thinking of, that you want to come and you want to write something, it's much easier a lot of times though if you do have something on your heart, as because I've been woken up by a song that was just the first song I ever wrote lyrics to was I kept on hearing trumpets going. I couldn't sleep. I just kept on dreaming these trumpets, these darn trumpet players. So I wrote a song called "You Make My Whole World Come Alive" with just the sparkle of your eyes, and it was recorded in Philly by a group that was produced by Tom Bell. Tom Bell was the producer for Stylistics, and I wrote it 2 days before that session, literally, and lyrics and all. First time I ever wrote lyrics in my life. I was like 22 years old. I always wrote instrumentals and stuff like that. Never wrote lyrics.
Nice.
And it was just like a passion that it was unbelievable. It just all came, and it's happened for me like that several times in my life. So it's easier when that happens because now you come with the actual plan or actual vision, or you come with that promise. So then you have your the 3 Ps
Yes.
that my wife taught.
Yeah.
My wife taught a lesson on the 3 Ps, which is promise, process, thank you,
performance.
process and performance. So it's interesting how that works into even writing a song. You have the promise, you have the process, and then you have the performance. So those that
Preach.
thing, huh?
I was just saying, preach.
Wow.
Wow. Hold on.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Anthony, you know about that, Anthony.
So I mean, having fun is what this is all about. I mean, really, we gotta have fun. This is it's not serious business. Even if you're doing it for $1 million if you're doing multi-million-dollar productions, if it loses the fun in the studio and in the process, then you'll hear it in the end. You'll hear it in the delivery. Trust me, you will definitely hear it in the delivery. So it has to have fun. This is music. I believe is one of the closest things to God's heart. And those that have a gift of being able to create music, whether secular or Christian or whatever they want to call it, they have a gift that's very close to God's heart. Now, how they use it is another thing, but nevertheless, it's a gift that's close to God's heart. And it's also been a very troubling gift for some people, unnamed right now, but people that have lost their lives because of trying to find out where this gift is coming from. How can I keep it up? How can it, all that kind of stuff. So the stresses of that gift, and not knowing what your process
and performance.
Yep.
I'll write that down.
I'm gonna add another P to it next week. So.
All right now.
But anyway, so any other questions? Andrew, Jordan?
I mean, I did put something together. I don't know what it's gonna sound like.
Hit us.
Yes, please.
Hit us.
Yeah.
Want to share it? I got it so you can share it.
I shared it.
Cool.
Away.
Yes.
One thing I could think of.
Okay.
I found the loops with some kind of vocal stuff, so like good, it'll save me some time. Is it loud?
When you shared, you had to unshare it, and then when you share it again, make sure we hear the computer sound. Click those two.
It might be under more. There might be a long black list of options, and there's a word that says more. Under more, there should be an option that says share computer sound.
Hold on. It says publish, share. Okay. Share private link? No.
When you hit the share button.
Okay.
On your Zoom.
The Zoom. Oh.
Zoom. Hit your share button in Zoom. I'm sorry.
Okay, hold on. Zoom. Okay.
And at the bottom of the page, you'll see at the bottom of the share page, you'll see two boxes to click.
All right. Bottom of the share page.
Yeah.
Share.
When you click,
Yeah,
it says optimize screen share a video clip.
click that one.
Share computer
Okay.
sound. Those two. Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. I go back.
Yep.
You're dark in here, lit by day. You're dark in here, lit by day. You're dark in here, lit by day. You're dark in here, lit by day.
Great job. That was awesome.
That was cool. That was
Yeah.
cool. See, you sound like you had fun doing that.
Yeah, that did sound a lot of fun, actually. Yeah, that was.
That's what I was working on last night, and it wouldn't save, so I had to kind of do it again.
Yeah, well, that's what I didn't know you had done it again. That's why I didn't ask you to play it. But cool. That's so great. I love it.
I had to put my little bridge on there because it wasn't long enough.
I heard you.
3 minutes. I'm like, oh, got it.
Seeing the thing just a couple of weeks ago, you hadn't even done anything like this.
Nope.
Now you making whole songs and commercials. You got podcasts. Like, that's right.
That's right. That's cool.
Thanks to you guys.
Thank you.
On my resume.
There you go. now you don't have to worry. You know, and let me stop the recording. I just want to say one more thing before